I might throw to you, Mark, if I can, if you want to grab a microphone there, and tell us a bit about how this idea came about.
Look, the idea came out actually quite easily. We've been, as a business, for many years, trying to address some of the myths that are out there in the real consumer land, and in mothers groups and all these different areas. There's all these myths about we don't use real chicken, you know, our meat is full of preservatives, etc. And we have tried for years using the normal approach, whether it's print media, whether it's whatever, trying to address the issues and to get, I guess, the credibility that we'd like to get around the quality of the food and the supply chain. So we actually threw it back to our partners. And the brief was written, and it went to two of our media partners to say, help us. How can we do this differently? Here's the brief. Here's the issues we'd like to address. And actually, all credit goes to them. So maybe, Matt, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Hi, everyone. So, yeah, look, as Mark was saying, we got a brief. Oh, God, when was it, Alistair? I can't even remember the month. Middle of last year. Addressing all of the things Mark just talked about. So all of the issues that historically have sat within the McDonald's brand. You know, it's a brand that's got a normal cultural sway and influence, but it's also a brand that's got probably more mythology around it than almost any other brand in the world, which is partly why this idea worked, I think. So the task was pretty simple. Break down as many of the myths as you can possibly break down. Do it in a way that is going to reach as many people as possible in as most influential a way as possible, and we need it done within 5 months. So that came about with us coming back with a response, which was the concept to develop a piece of content, ideally a piece of content that was independently produced, which was a massive sell, I guess, to go in and ask the client to basically relinquish all control of the production to an independent producer, and to literally open up the doors to McDonald's and allow anyone that the production company decided to ask as many of the tough questions of McDonald's as they liked. And we were confident, having spoken to the guys at Macca's, we were confident that the brand would stand up to that test.
What we were absolutely committed to is that it had to run independently and that we weren't going to pay to have it run. We generally wanted to have an arm's length relationship. So we did go to all the networks and suggest to them that this is what we're going to be doing, suggesting that it was going to be a documentary, that we thought it would be relevant and interesting, but we weren't going to pay to run it. And without getting into all the details, one of the networks came back with a whole lot of, let's say, conditions, which we weren't interested in. We're like, no, we actually are just offering this to you. And one of the networks, which was Channel 7, came back and said, actually, we think this is really interesting. We think it would be really compelling watching, and we think it would be relevant to a lot of people in Australia. And we'll run it for free, which is what we wanted to hear, because, again, we did not want to pay for that. And it wasn't about the money. It was actually about the independence. And secondly, they said that they would run it in a prime time, where one of the other networks, which we were in discussion with, would not run it on a prime network.
I think when I spoke to Daryle, I think you put it really nicely. You were saying that it was like conducting an independent audit of the business. Did you feel that you had to win the trust of McDonald's, knowing that they've sort of put this in your hands?
Well, obviously we had lots of conversations before the final leap of faith was taken. There were 2 leaps of faith here. I guess we got to the point where McDonald's felt comfortable that WTFN had the integrity and the skill set to deliver a program that would be prime time, that would have credibility, and we all knew from day one that we were going to be in the spotlight and people would be taking pot shots at us. The flip side of that, from our perspective, our company has built a reputation for doing really good branded entertainment, and we had to make a decision and get comfortable for ourselves that we wouldn't be selling our own reputation by making a program that was just seen as a sop to McDonald's or that was just a paid piece of advertising. So there were 2 management teams had to reach a point at the same time to go, yes, we trust you're going to let us get on and do this the way we've asked to do it. And conversely, McDonald's reached a point where they've gone, yes, we feel confident that you're the team who will deliver this for us.
And Mark, how did you feel when you first saw the finished product? I was reading somewhere that there was a few people squirming in their chairs when they first watched it. Is that an accurate description?
Well, I wasn't squirming, but maybe there's some other people in the room. Look, I was thrilled.
So you didn't at any point watch this and say, oh no, you have to change that part, we're not happy with you putting that to air?
No, and look, I've read a lot of stuff online, and I hear all this stuff, and yeah, McDonald's, you must have controlled this, you bastards, all that sort of stuff. And please ask Daryle any questions you like here this afternoon. Very seriously, when you're a brand like McDonald's and you go and do something like this, you have to do it with utmost integrity. Okay, and even though there were people in the business and maybe at the board level that might be uncomfortable because they weren't sure what was going to come back, you've got to stick to that integrity. And we were super diligent and super disciplined internally. And people don't believe this, but I can tell you there was only one person of the board on Australia that saw it before it went to air on Channel 7. One. Okay, we were getting lots of requests to show it to people. There wasn't any of the licensees that had seen it. There was probably myself and 2 or 3 other people in my team, a maximum of probably 6 people within McDonald's that actually saw the version before it went to air on Channel 7.
The network were very strict with us also when we were engaging with them, that independence from their perspective was very important as well. They wouldn't have purchased and got involved in this entire concept had they not, believed and genuinely thought that this was an independent thing. And
you were saying as well when I spoke to you the other day that you feel that for Seven this has opened doors for them because people have seen this and gone, wow, that's a really bold move on their behalf, and they're now being approached with.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Seven. I mean, I give Seven a bit of credit. I mean, when we were out talking to the 3 networks about this concept, Seven, I think, got it pretty quickly, and Tim Warner at the time was still head of programming at that point, and I think Tim was kind of almost immediately once we explained the concept to him, Tim was like, this will rate. This will be a rating success. We can put this in prime time, and full testament to Tim's judgment. It won its slot up against normal programming across the other networks, and for the reasons I spoke about, I guess earlier about the cultural influence and position of the McDonald's brand. When we went and said, hey, here's a concept, here's an idea, are you guys interested? He instantaneously went, yep, we're up for this. What the network's done as a result is they've opened up other conversations now as a result of doing that with other clients. So the information that I've got from Seven is that it's created a lot of discussion for them with other clients about different types of projects that they might not have been considered for before. Should there be legislation that steps in and sets a guideline around brands being involved? And is this jeopardising the integrity of the media to have content like this?
Well, I think that obviously is one of the big questions around branded entertainment. You can put branded entertainment, content, education, information, whatever you like, out through your own channels. And so long as you're legal, then to a certain extent you can do what you like. And then it's up to you whether the public buys it or not, participates or not. Once you get involved in the media, who are the champion of the viewer or the reader or the listener, then the public has to continue to believe that. They have to continue to have that trust. If the world moves, and I suppose this is what we've been demonstrating, that in this case it was integrity all the way through. But if that suspicion exists, and I've seen examples where brands want to go to places where it's not great for viewer integrity, and the media goes, yeah, we'll take the money. And to a certain extent you go, well, hang on, who's drawing the line here? Like, if the media aren't doing it, brands have to start taking that responsibility themselves.
So I think we might have to wrap it up. I'm afraid that that's all that we have time for. Thank you very much for our panel for joining us.